best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Zippy, I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SP, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad in the morning. Marcus Brown, Justin Emery.
Yo.
So before we get into the Sixers, they lost. They can wait. I promised on Monday I was going to help you out with something.
Oh, yeah, I thought about that after the show, and you never did. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to help you out right now. So you tweeted out over the weekend. It doesn't matter how much deodorant I put on. Within 6 minutes of being on the treadmill.
Facts.
I still look. Wait, what is it? Where is it here?
I believe it's I still smell like a high school locker room.
SMH. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you out. So
first, hold on. You have to follow up with the second tweet. There's a second tweet to that thread.
I think I saw it in there too.
Where I tagged.
Added somebody. You added degree.
I did.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Number one, how long have you been wearing degree deodorant?
A long time.
Put years on it.
10.
That's the problem.
10 to 12.
That's one of the issues. See, here's the deal with deodorants and colognes. Your body gets used to something, and also shampoos. Also, your body gets used to it. So as it keeps going, it starts to not be as effective. Number one. Number two, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've been doing this now for probably the past 15 to 20 years. Here's a secret for you guys out here right now too. This is going to sound weird, but I'm telling you it's true. Women's deodorant is way stronger than men's deodorant.
That's just a fact. That's not even breaking news.
I've been using women's deodorant for years. I've used the Woman's Dove and the Lady Speed Stick, and I'm telling you, it lasts millenniums. Well, like what I do is also my deodorants, my colognes, and my shampoos, I get a rotation. I alternate. Like I'm real big into like. First of all, you have to figure out things that smell good on you because everyone's body's different. Believe it or not. So like you have to figure out what works with your pheromones. So I have a 3 cologne rotation that even though one particular cologne is my absolute favorite. I love the cologne, but I never wear it in succession. It's always those 3 colognes and I alternate back and forth. So my pheromones, it always smells fresh. Shampoo, same thing. Deodorant, same thing. But I'm telling you, switch women's deodorant. It's way better. Which doesn't make any sense, but it is.
No, it doesn't make any sense. But you are right. Women's deodorant is a whole lot stronger. So a few takeaways from that. Number one, I do, like you, have a cologne rotation.
Smart man.
I believe I have. I think I have a few. I maybe have like 4 or 5. But like you, I have one that I prefer over the rest.
Mm-hmm.
But I seldom ever wear that one unless there's certain times where it's prime time. The lights are on.
Yeah,
that's where I rock that one. I usually don't even like to wear that one though, just because I'm afraid. Like I've had it in the bottle for years, but I'm still afraid I'm going to run out of it, despite the fact I've barely even dented it in years. But so I do have that. See, here's the problem with my deodorant, and I have to be very particular. I can't use gel deodorants because I break out from them.
I used to
use the gel deodorants all the time. I prefer them actually.
Yeah.
But I would break out hardcore.
Me too.
From that. So I was like, all right, let me go back to get like the whatever the pasty
powder. Yeah.
So I switched to that. And it was good in the beginning. But like I said, I mean, I will put on a fresh coat. Like I'll put it on after I get out like in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'll go about my morning. Go put another coat on when I go to the gym.
Right.
And by the time when I leave the gym and get into my car,
it's a wrap.
I have to drive home with the windows down. Regardless,
I'm telling you, the biggest problem is the fact you've been using it for 10 years. That's the biggest.
I've probably been using degree since college.
That's the biggest problem. And like your body's repelling it. Body's a strange thing. But yeah,
Lady
it happened.
Speed Stick, I'm coming for you today.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's going to change the game for you. You'll be fine.
When I make my lunch break, like I do for DraftKings during the day when I have to do it, I usually take a lunch break and I'll run and get some. I'll go to Target. I'll get me some Lady Speed Sticks. I will have a review for everybody on
Love
Friday.
it. All right, so we saw.
Now, I do have to say this though.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, I forget where we were going, forget all the circumstances because
Okay.
I have a very short memory.
All
but
right.
I had to use Sarah's deodorant.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Big change.
Big time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know how I discovered this, but I know what happened. This was literally like I had ran out of deodorant and I was still living at home. I was like, I opened a thing on my mom's and I'm like, well, let's get weird. I put it on and I was like, oh my gosh, this is never gonna end.
Yeah.
I never have to shower again if I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, but I don't have to.
I remember when I was like 15, 16 years old, like the height of smelling awful.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting ready for school one day in the morning, and I ran out of deodorant, and I was like, And I go in and I found my mom's deodorant. I remember it smelled like flowers and mangoes, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't even care.
Yeah,
so I throw it on real quick, and I remember being at school that day, and we're all like, I don't know. After school, we're doing whatever. There's a bunch of guys, like whatever. We're all standing around, like doing some kind of physical activity.
Yeah.
I remember one of the guys looks over and goes, "Somebody here smells like flowers," and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad about it. And I'm standing there the whole time. I'm like, "That's me.
That's me.
That's me."
Dandelion over here.
Yep.
All right, so we solved one problem.
Yes.
So let's try to solve another one happening down in South Beach.
Down. Okay.
106.92. 60 on 106.92 Monday night. Oh man.
It felt like it was more than that.
No, it got out of hand, obviously, in the fourth with the scoring drought. But no, it was way more. It was actually more competitive than the score would lead you to believe.
Especially because the Sixers were leading at halftime.
Right. Right. And
I had to double check the box score when I read that.
So you start off the first, like the way that first quarter started out was a complete disaster. You never want to start out a playoff game on the road like that. You don't want to start out a game like that, but especially again on the road. You and I talked about it, the DeAndre Jordan situation.
Yeah, we talked about it extensively on Monday.
Yes. You heard it here. Justin told you guys, and we both said he's basically unplayable, which he is. He was a -12 in the first minute of the game. He gave up 6 points to Bam Adebayo in about 13 seconds. It was stuff you just don't see. You don't see stuff like that. I mean, I've never seen someone be in minus double digits in the first 2 minutes of a game. It's absurd. But here's the problem I will say is, okay, so Paul Reed is the better option. However, if ADHD had a body and a head, it would be Paul Reed.
Yeah.
He plays basketball like a spaz. And he's not like, I understand why Doc Rivers doesn't really like him that much. I get it. Because he has the attention span of a hummingbird. Like he's all over the place. He's constantly doing things that he shouldn't be doing.
However, like you said before, this is kind of a double-edged sword against Doc because he with proper development, you could have warded some of these problems away. Could you got rid of all of them? No, probably not. But you could have definitely worked some of the kinks out with proper development.
Yes, and there's been a lot of opinions about, obviously, over the last couple of days about this game, and one of the narratives is, so you couldn't develop Paul Reed because Andre Drummond was here. Well, Andre Drummond, if I'm not mistaken, got traded in February. Right. So at that point, you probably should have started trying to get Paul Reed into basketball games more consistently. There also is something called practice where you would think, like, just the way you guys were working with Maxey, and you see guys work with Maxey all the time, coaches, that probably should be happening with Paul Reed too. Because now you're in a situation where, yes, Paul Reed is the better option, but it's tough to play him because he gets in foul trouble so quickly because he literally falls for everything. So it's one of those things where like I listened to Doc's press conference Monday when he talked about DeAndre Jordan. Basically said, "Listen, I don't care what you guys say. I'm playing DeAndre Jordan." And then the whole thing about the locker room at halftime about asking, guys, who they prefer in the lineup, and I get that too. Where, we've all played. Well, I'm not gonna say we've all played basketball before. If you've played basketball before, playing with someone that doesn't understand how to play the game is extremely frustrating. And Paul Reed, as athletic as he is, he doesn't know how to play basketball. He's a I don't want to be disrespectful when I say this, but when I was talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo a couple years ago, it's kind of the similar where even though Giannis has more physical gifts, I put them a couple years ago in the same class where it was great athlete, not a great basketball player. That's who Paul Reed is right now. Great athlete, not a great basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
So on one hand, as much as DeAndre Jordan frustrates me and I can't stand him on the court, I kind of get where Doc is coming from. What do you guys want me to do? But again, as you alluded to, you should have been prepping for this guy months ago and getting ready for this. As soon as Andre Drummond is traded, you have to prepare him to be in the rotation because you really had no choice. But this is, again, when the buyout market hit, this is why I was pounding the pavement for Tristan Thompson.
And what they did is they decided that Paul Millsap and trading for DeAndre Jordan was more important than developing Paul Reed for this moment. That's exactly what happened. They made the decision that they rather have veteran big guys, which we're not necessarily opposed to.
Right.
But you guys have the wrong veteran big guys.
Right. I think
if we had your guy Tristan Thompson right now,
we're good.
Might be a different story.
We're good. I think Doc Rivers, because that was the guy they focused on from the beginning. They didn't really go after anybody else. It was DeAndre Jordan or bust. That's kind of where they're at.
Yeah. That was a Doc signing.
1,000%. Yeah, because he looks at him and he still sees Lob City, but those years are long gone. He's
my man could not jump over a paper plate now.
No, like that, and like that's what kills you. That third quarter run the Miami Heat make, what killed you really in that run and took all the momentum away was the Heat's ability to grab offensive rebounds.
They were getting offensive boards whenever they wanted.
He looked like you ever seen like junior high girls play basketball and they don't jump and they just put their arms up like that's DeAndre Jordan. Like that's what he's doing. Like just arms in the air, hoping for the best.
There's not very many pro athletes, and I think I have a better vertical than.
Yeah.
I challenged DeAndre Jordan to a jumping contest.
Yeah, you couldn't slide a box of pizza or a newspaper underneath his vertical. Like you really, it's bad. But so that run the third quarter,
he's looking like Boston Shaq out there right now.
Yeah, Boston Shaq was wild.
Like just rolling around on the floor, couldn't jump.
Yeah, it was bad. It was Boston Shaq and Cleveland Shaq were wild people.
People don't. Well, he played in Cleveland for 2 seasons, I think.
Something like that. His last great run was Phoenix Shaq.
Yes, but most people don't remember the Boston Shaq because there's very not
number 36.
It
was bad.
Wore every number in the 30s.
Yes, he did. So you get off to that bad start. You're down 18-6 before you can even blink. You fight back to get 25-22. Then you go down again 32-22. All of this, and this is what I say all the time about when you're down. It expends so much energy trying to come back, especially a playoff atmosphere. The energy you have to expend to get back into the games, it's tough. You get it to 51-50. You come out of halftime actually playing pretty well. DeAndre Jordan catches an oop, start the half off. They get up by 5, I believe. So you're feeling pretty good about the momentum, and then P.J. Tucker, the hustle play start, and then Tyler Hero. That's pretty much the story. But the major story, I guess, is Adebayo and Tyler Hero. I believe they combined for 49. Hero had 25 off the bench. And Bam Adebayo is not that great of an offensive player. He's above average, but he's not a guy that you should be overly concerned with offensively.
I mean, Bam. Here's the thing about Bam. I don't know if he's a star player or not. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes he looks great. Other times he's non-existent.
he reminds me of a more talented Tobias Harris. Like there's games where Tobias Harris comes out and you're like, okay, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand how he got a max deal. And then there's games
Tobias Harris Monday night was out there fighting for his life.
Yeah. But Bam, I mean, if Embiid was playing, he would probably eat Bam's lunch and take his lunch money the whole series. Because I mean, what's he 6'8", 6'9"?
Yeah, 6'8", 6'9".
And he's their designated big. Like he's their starting center.
Mm-hmm.
Embiid would take his lunch money every game in the series if they played.
Agreed. And that's why in a weird way, I know it got ugly at the end, but that is an extremely beatable basketball team.
Yes.
First of all, they're the walking wounded. Kyle Lowry will be out again tonight. Jimmy Butler's nicked up.
If I'm the Sixers, specifically Sam Cassell, because I don't trust Doc to do this, I'm going and saying, listen, Jimmy's hurt. He's clearly banged up. That I believe it's his right wrist.
His wrist, his knee.
I'm running Jimmy Butler into screens every play.
Yep.
Every play I'm running him into everybody.
Right.
We're going to run him into DeAndre Jordan. We're going to run him into Tobias Harris. We're going to run him all over the court into anybody and everybody. Every single play.
He had a really good first couple minutes, and then you really didn't hear from him for the rest of the game. He was basically ineffective after that.
Look at that shot. I think it was during the third quarter, maybe in the second quarter, where you see the trainer just like working on his wrist, and you can see like he has nothing. Like he had nothing to give during that point in time.
So there's a lot of things like you had guys out there for the Sixers for that entire game, and I haven't seen anything really like this. I can think about 5 guys that gave you absolutely nothing Monday night, like just out there doing cardio.
Niang,
like George Niang, 0 for 7 from 3.
If he's not hitting threes, he's useless for you.
Yeah, it's a JJ Redick factor. When he's not hitting threes,
and Furkan.
Yeah,
if they're not hitting, if those guys aren't hitting threes, you can't play them.
Which honestly, actually, I'm giving Amber credit for this because she said this, which I wouldn't have been mad at because George Niang he was 0 for 7, and she goes, listen, I know Court Rouse isn't the best, but what about throwing him in there for a couple minutes, see if he give you something? I was like, you know what? You're not wrong.
At this point in time, why not?
You're not. Listen, they end up shooting, I think it was 6 for 34, 17% from 3. They couldn't hit anything. Danny Green had a bad game. So you go Green, Niang, Milton, Thibault, basically gave you gave you nothing. You got no production from any of them. And I don't know what's going on with Matisse Thibault. I don't know. I don't know what's happened to him. But he looks like he hasn't played basketball in 3 years. He really does. He has no chemistry in the game right now.
He's mentally crumbling. I think that he built up this some kind of protective insulation that he has.
Mm-hmm.
He gets such a pass in this city because he's a great defender. He can't shoot the rock.
Mm-mm.
He can barely even pass the rock.
No.
He is completely inept on the offensive side of the game.
Mm-hmm.
However, he gets a free pass because he's a nice, good-looking guy. He says the right things, and he's a fan favorite. But many chinks in the armor for him, and what I mean by armor, his reputation, was knocked by the whole vaccine, not being able to play in Toronto, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it's a snowball effect that you're now seeing this dude has many, many chinks in the armor.
Yeah.
This guy, I said this the other day. I can't believe that this guy was deemed untradeable at the trade deadline and untouchable.
I thought that way. I'm not gonna lie, I did.
I did too. I just can't believe I thought that though.
And I'm still happy they didn't trade him because I do see what he can be hopefully fixed with Summers a work. And as far as
2,000
dedication,
2,000 jumpers a day.
yeah,
Anything less than that, I'm out. And like I need to see monumental offensive improvement next season.
Embiid's got to hook him up with Drew Hanlon. That is just really that simple. Hook him up with Drew Hanlon. Let the kid go to work.
Like if Thibault can't average 10 to 12 points next year, I'm looking at him sideways.
Yeah, and that's because you want him to break the barrier of the starting lineup and be a starter. And 10 to 12 gets you in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he averaged what, 3, if that? Like
3 or something like that.
He's not playing starter quality minutes right now because he doesn't deserve them.
Right.
But the problem is I'm not sure you can pick out 5 guys on this roster that deserve starting minutes.
Right, yeah. And you know, like I said, you didn't get anything out of those guys I named. And you at some point, it's because Harden ends up with 16 and 5 on 13 shots. I would like to see that get up to 17, 18 shots. The assists were down because guys weren't hitting shots.
Yes.
Like he there was several times that it should have been an assist. He should have had 10, 11 assists, but guys literally couldn't make any shots. Listen, he had a great start to the game. The first quarter he came out gangbusters. I think he had 10 in the first quarter again, I believe. But he ends with 16. The thing with him is just, listen, man, we need you to have your foot on the gas the entire game. The entire game. While Embiid's out, you cannot play the style.
I heard this stat the other day. Can you believe that he has yet to take 20 shots in a game?
Yeah, it's wild, right?
Like they did the split yesterday. I think it was on ESPN. Something that like in games that James Harden has played over like the last 8 years, they have like his teams have like an over 70% win percentage when he takes at least 20 shots.
Yeah.
Like when he takes it's you know how they have those things where it's like, oh, if a running back it's at least like 18 carries, his team is whatever.
Right.
Seems to be the magic number for Harden is he has to take 20 shots. That seems to be the magic number. He is yet to do that in a Sixers uniform.
Which is wild. The guy we thought, listen, in Brooklyn, he was a similar version of this. I would say a little better of a version, but like he was similar to this. But you would think, again, with Embiid out, he would be taking those shots. But again, like I said, you got to be fair. The assist numbers, assists are points in my book, too. It's the same thing. If you give me 11 assists, okay, you were a part of that, providing that basket. And Harden is so good at getting guys open shots. And listen, as good as that Heat defense is, Sixers got a lot of open shots. They just missed them. They learned also very quickly that James Harden is not Trae Young. And you cannot put him in penitentiary like the Trae Young. He's bigger, he's stronger, and he was able to pretty much get to his spots. Now, again, it fizzled as the game got on, which makes you wonder the conditioning that he's in. And if that could be an issue of why he's having trouble later in games creating his own offense. That's something we'll have to monitor, especially for tonight. Because tonight is, I'm not going to say must win, but it's as close to a must win as you get. Because,
I wouldn't classify this as a must win, but I would classify it as a can't lose.
Okay.
You can't lose this game. You know what I mean? Like you really you can't. You don't want to go back to Philly down 0-2.
Right.
After losing both games. It also really depends how you lose this game. Like if you come out and you get thrashed by 15-20 again, that's not good. You come out and you lose by 3, 4, 5 points.
Yeah.
Different story. It really depends how they play. And as far as James Harden goes, this is the Ben Simmons effect. The other GMs, they got cable too.
Right.
It's not good for him.
Yeah, I mean the max deal as of now is not looking good for him at all.
Let me ask you this. Do you think so? I was kicking this idea around the other day. And I'm starting to lean more towards that Harden's just cooked versus the injury.
Yeah.
I'm torn. Is it obviously he has had a hamstring injury that's hampered him the better part of a year.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the injury, or is he washed? Like they're pretty much the only two options because how else do you explain?
Listen, if you have Joel Embiid and Harden's going to give you 22 points and 14 assists, I have zero problem with that. The problem becomes when you games like last night, when you need him to give you more of the scoring, is he capable of being that guy still?
So my question is, do you think that he knows that he isn't, and that's why he's not taking 20 shots a game?
I think number one, I'm leaning towards he's not in the greatest shape right now. And I believe the hamstring is still an issue.
Still think he's hurt?
Yes, I do. I think that, the offseason, he really needs to take care of his body. He needs to probably drop a couple pounds.
I think he needs to probably drop about 10 to 15 pounds.
I agree. He still looks a little thick to me. If you go back to 2018, 2019 Harden, his body definitely has changed a little bit, and he can do something about that. I think if he does those things, I think we'll be very happy when we get back training camp. We can't do anything about that now. Now you just need him to just be more offensively assertive late in games. Like he didn't give you anything that in the third and fourth quarter. I also did and then again, this might be conditioning. Maybe he can't do it. I thought he sat too much. You can't with Embiid out. We can't have you sitting out 4 or 5 minutes. We can't have no hard minutes out here. You're gonna have to play 45 minutes, and I don't know if he's capable of doing that based on his conditioning. So
I don't think he's capable of doing that.
You do think he's capable?
No, I don't.
Oh, you're right. But that's kind of what you need.
It's definitely what you need.
I need at least 40 from him. I don't believe he played 40 minutes.
I'd be Marcus. I would be stunned if he played 40 minutes. I pull the box score up. I would be stunned if he played 40 minutes.
And that's not good. You really could use that out of him. It's 40 minutes. But again, listen, it's the NBA basketball game. If you're not in the greatest conditions, it's gonna be hard for you to do that. So
again, choose your room.
Sorry, did not realize that.
What happened over there?
I didn't realize I didn't have ESPN.
Commercials?
I didn't realize I didn't have the website muted.
But listen.
I did not realize that Gary Payton broke his elbow yesterday.
Yeah, and the Warriors go down.
Yeah, did not realize that.
Yeah.
So
Warriors go down by 5 to the Grizz. Yeah. So that's if you look at this game though, as bad those spurts where it got bad, you can still see how this team is a beatable basketball team. This isn't 98 Bulls. This isn't the 13 Heat. This isn't the 11 Mavericks. This isn't.
Oh wow! How many minutes you think he played? Definitely wasn't 40. How many minutes you think he played?
33.
Slightly higher.
35.
There you go.
Yeah, that's not good enough. I need 5 more minutes out of you. He has to be he should be between 40 and 45 minutes.
See, here's where it killed you. Niang played 22 minutes
and gave you nothing. He didn't even have a rebound.
He had an assist and 2 steals.
Okay. I don't know how that happened, but
somehow Niang ended +6.
He's out there doing his cardio while everyone else is scoring.
Who do you think finished with the highest minus? And it wasn't
DeAndre Jordan.
No, it wasn't.
Really? Who?
Tyrese Maxey -25.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yep. Actually, here's another. Tobias Harris, also a -25.
I guess it's a product of just being out there.
Well, the thing is, Tobias Harris also led both teams in minutes played.
Yeah, and he, like I said, he was out there. He was out there fighting for his life.
He might have had a -25. No one's going to hold a bad game against him.
No, he played. That was actually, I believe, one of his better games as a Sixer.
I agree.
He was. Just his toughness. At
one point in time, I believe he had a possession with 3 straight rebounds.
Yeah,
on different possessions.
Yeah. So going into tonight, before we hit the break, going into tonight, I'm not going to say I feel good.
I don't.
That's a stretch. I don't know if I feel good going into tonight. But
you're not necessarily downtrodden.
I'm not downtrodden because there's a lot I can see. Here's the thing for me. When I watch a game where I'm coaching, whatever I'm doing, if I lose a game and I can go back and say, okay, we could have done this, we could have done that, we could have done this. This was wrong. We can improve that. I'm okay because I know adjustments can be made. that gives me hope for the next time. If I go into a game and a team beats me, I'm just like, I don't know. that gives you cause for pause. This isn't a scenario where the Heat beat you and you're like, well, we don't have any answers for any of the stuff they're doing. You have answers for this. I have to believe the Sixers are not going to shoot 14% from three, or I'm sorry, 17% from three again.
Hope not.
They shot since Harden's been here. They've been like 40% from three.
Yeah,
they're the best 3-point shooting team in like the NBA since Harden's got here. They shot it really well against the Raptors in round one. I gotta believe that was an anomaly. I gotta believe that Niang will not go 0 for 7. Listen, he hits 3 threes in that game. It's a different game.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Green makes 1 is a different game. So you get 4 threes out of those 2 guys. It's a different ball game altogether. I gotta believe they're gonna be better shooting the basketball than they were.
I mean, the law of averages tells you they can't do 17% again.
No. So things like that I look at, I'm saying, okay. And then again, the Heat they were offensively inept for most of that game. They came out with their hair on fire, hit like their first like 10 shots, and then for the rest of the game, it was Tyler Hero or nothing. They really didn't do much after that.
And he shouldn't have went as bananas as he did either.
No, not at all. And that's where again you need Thibault. Like I said to you at halftime, as soon as I see Tyler Hero stand up, Thibault's got to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
But you see him. I don't care if you think he's going on the other end of the bench. You see stand up, you stand up. And the thing is too, with a guy like Tyler Hero is a guy that I feel would wilt under a little physicality. And this is where Thibault also needs to get better. Like the thing about the Sixers that kind of bother me too is that they're a bunch of really nice guys. Like they're a bunch of guys that if you had a sister, you introduce them to. Like you got Thibault, you got Tobias, you got Maxey. They're really nice guys. Like give me a PJ Tucker, give me a Marcus Smart. I want because this is the time of year you need someone nasty. You need a Pat Bev on your team now. You need someone nasty.
Draymond.
And they don't have any of those guys. They're all really nice guys. Like Thibault. Like get a little physical with this kid. Like Thibault's very good at standing in front of guys, and he's a very good defender, no question. But Matisse Thybulle, what's intimidating about Matisse Thybulle?
Nothing. He's maybe 180 pounds soaking wet.
And not just that, he's always smiling. He's a really nice guy. Like talk some mess.
He has a YouTube channel that highlights the things that he does. Like
talk some mess to Tyler Hero. Say like yo, bro, you ain't a bucket today. Hell no, you get nothing today. Like I believe Hero under that energy would melt. The problem is there's no one on the Sixers to give him that type of energy, and that's what he needs.
He is exactly what Drake said about Push. He's an approachable dude.
Yeah, right. And I need the
Jimmy Butler. I need the Kyle Lowry, the PJ Tucker, the Draymond Green.
Right. Draymond Green, another great one.
The Lance Stevenson.
That's a component. That's a component of the Sixers that have been
Beverly, like the Marcus Smart. You need the bouncer who's going to throw somebody out of the club.
Game 6 Clay.
Whoa. Listen. Game 6 Clay is.
Clay ain't no punk either. Like that's what I mean. Like you got guys like Steph is a super nice guy. But Steph got the bodyguard. Steph is Jay-Z, Draymond's Beanie Siegel.
But here's the thing is that sneakily, Steph Curry is a killer.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't have
on the court wise, he is a killer.
He's so terrifying.
He'll hit a 35-foot three and then he'll crip walk on you back down the court.
Right.
But like you said, he's got the bodyguard there. So
right, he got beans there. So this is the components Sixers always mentioned. And they're gonna have to get tonight. They're gonna have to get a little nasty.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to get a little nasty tonight. We're gonna have
to I was thinking about the story you told me the other day about Kanye West at the diner.
Yeah,
it just randomly popped up in my head the other day.
Yeah. Find yourself a Beanie Siegel, and they're gonna need that. Like the guy they had that guy briefly. And back on their first playoff run, Justin Anderson. Justin Anderson was the guy for them that did that. Remember, he got in that altercation with I believe it was Josh Richardson in that series, and he got in something with what's his name, Tyler Johnson. Also,
We also, to a degree, had it with Jimmy Butler. Like Jimmy Butler is that, but
Yeah.
to a lesser degree.
yes, Jimmy's that, but Jimmy's an ornery, miserable type of guy on the court.
I
That's
know
what I'm looking for.
and the thing is, Jimmy Butler is the type of person who I want as my teammate.
Yes, yeah,
Like I would hate to go against him,
hmm
but it's like the thing that Amber said, that you and Amber had the conversation about Marcus Smart.
yeah, yep.
Not want anything to do with him on the other team, but if he wore your jersey, he would be your favorite player.
I would kill to have Marcus Smart in the squad. I love me some Marcus Smart. Because
That's who Amber said she doesn't like, right?
yes,
Oh yeah, I just want to make sure I had the right player.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so they're gonna need a little bit of that nastiness tonight to be successful. Like I said, I don't feel great, but I'm not like you said downtrodden, because I feel like there are ways to win and ways to beat this team. They're just gonna have to put it all together and get it done. Because if they can steal tonight, they win the series. Because you get Embiid back Friday, and I think
you got to make the assumption you're getting him back Friday. Yes,
it looks good. The reports, they're being cautiously optimistic. The reports coming out is that he's doing more stuff. He's feeling better. So all signs are pointing to Game 3. He's back. So if you get that game tonight, I think you're in really good shape heading back to the crib for 2 at the Wells Fargo, which is going to be rocking.
What's that? Friday and Sunday?
Friday and Sunday, Friday and Mother's Day. So you're
Oh, great.
yeah. Hopefully, I don't ruin another Mother's Day for us.
Listen, I'll say this.
Yeah.
If on Mother's Day they're down 3-0, I'm not watching the game.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have other things to do probably.
I'm not watching the game
We're
because
pretty positive.
I don't need 3 years after triple, quadruple doink, whatever it was.
Yep.
To happen again. Like they ruined Father's Day. They
Yeah.
ruined Mother's Day.
Yes.
No day is sacred to the Sixers, and I hate them.
None. So let's take a quick break, and on the other side, let's do a little Saul update.
Yeah. Now, so you said you did catch it, right?
Yep.
There was a couple points. We'll get into it after the break, but there was a couple points in the episode where I was like, "Oh, Jimmy."
Yeah. Brad in the morning, Mark's Brad just bring right back. Relationships can be tough, and finding that special someone can be even tougher. So when it's time to make a decision on what to do with the ring, you don't want to have that be tough too, right? Hi, I'm Marcus Brown. I'm going to talk to you guys, my friends at Vans Jewelers, located at 13 South York Road in the heart of Hatboro. Back in 2017, when I decided to get engaged, there was only one choice for me. Going into Vans Jewelers, I was quite nervous, but they put me at ease right away with their friendly staff and their easy selection. They have selections for any budget. Rings, watches, chains, earrings, you name it, they got it. They also offer free ultrasonic cleaning and stone checks on any ring. Vans Jewelers also provides cleanings while you wait every Tuesday through Friday. What else do you want? You can't beat it. Go see my friends at Vans Jewelers, located again at the heart of Hatboro, 13 South York Road. Yeah, man. Welcome back. Bradman in the morning. Mark's Bradman to Snemery.
Yo. I mean, it's May 4th, which means it's Star Wars Day. I know that means nothing to you, but it's Star Wars Day. Not a lot of facts today, though, Marcus. I have to say that. So we're going to give a couple quick birthday shout-outs. First up, we have Victor Oladipo.
Hola, Odipo.
His birthday's today, as well as Lance Bass.
Okay.
And I believe you pronounce his name Jadena, the singer that does Classic Man.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And then also Rory McIlroy.
Okay.
And then a whole lot of YouTube and TikTokers today.
Gotcha.
And only really one major anniversary or fact today, Marcus.
What's that?
A movie came out. It's the 25th anniversary of this movie.
97.
Comedy. Do you want to take a stab at it? It is a cultural. I don't know if that's the right word. What's the cult classic?
A cult classic comedy.
Cult classic comedy.
97.
Actually, this is now. It came out 25 years ago today, and it was the first of three.
First of three of them?
Yes.
97? It wasn't American Pie. American Pie was 99, I believe.
It was not American Pie.
First of three. I don't know. What is it?
Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Okay. The best was the second one.
I agree.
The second one was the best.
I agree.
Very rare sequels are better than the originals, but that sequel was definitely way better.
The third one, if it doesn't have Beyonce in it, is extremely forgetful.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I just remember, I love gold.
Yeah. Real quick, did you hear Dave Chappelle got ran up on as comedy show last night, the Hollywood Bowl?
What?
And well, his security his security left that man laying. That man got stretchered out as he should.
Of course,
as he should.
If there's 5 comedians that I'm not rushing stage, Dave Chappelle might be number 1 on that list.
Yeah, they took that man backstage and gave him a little whooping.
Maybe Cat Williams. I don't know if I'm running up on Cat Williams either.
And then Dave Chappelle came out afterwards and did a stand up about it. I mean, like an encore stand up about it.
I saw somebody said that if Will Smith would have slapped Dave Chappelle on stage instead of Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle would have been going into his 3rd hour of Jada Pinkett jokes by now.
Oh, 100%.
They were like, he would have turned into a comedy special.
1,000%. I agree. So before we get out of here real quick, Saw is sawing.
So we're discussing the whole episode so that you have been warned. Spoilers are in this episode.
So let me start here.
Well, first off, before we get into that, wow, does he look like Howard?
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Whoa!
And we see, and you're starting to see the merge. Breaking Bad and Saul big time. Wendy makes an appearance. Wendy, the prostitute.
Oh, I forgot what her name was. Yeah.
Yeah, Wendy makes an appearance.
For a second, I thought you were blurring shows.
No. Wendy makes an appearance. And the scene that struck me was the Kim Mike scene.
Yeah, I actually had to rewind it and put subtitles on for that conversation.
I had sort of an epiphany there.
Okay.
It's starting to look like Kim was the brains behind all of this. It's starting to feel like Kim is the brains behind Saul Goodman. And the whole thing, because he goes to her for approval and everything. Even that the office space that eventually becomes a space, he goes to Kim for approval.
I'm glad we finally got to see that.
Mike goes over Saul, doesn't tell him what's going on, tells her, and looks in her face and says, I feel like you're built different, basically.
So I believe he said sterner stuff.
Yeah, sterner stuff. That's exactly what he said. So it's starting to look to me like she is the brains behind all of this. And like the Saul Goodman that we get, you're going to see her giving him a lot of wisdom, a lot of advice, and kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes. Something that I didn't see coming if you go back to season 1. I didn't see her as that type of character, but that's what it's looking like they're building,
I agree.
which is
I
wild.
agree. Gus is out or not? Yeah, Gus is out here.
What is that? What is it? What is he doing?
That was
This underground tunnel?
a different house.
Yeah.
Like the whole time I was watching that, the only thing that went through my mind was like, what if like you need to do utility work?
Right. Those lights coming on the tunnel.
And how about like how about that couple that just going about their bit like there's not just walking around with assault rifles past them. Now, have we seen those two before, that couple?
Not that I can recall.
I can't either, but they had that vibe that they were like familiar.
Yeah.
Did you watch Malcolm in the Middle?
I did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So obviously you remember Bryan Cranston as the dad on there.
Yeah.
So you know, you know what I thought of when I saw those two riding the bike? Doing the power walking.
Power walking Hal. And remember he did biking too. And he had that ridiculous outfit on with that helmet, the long helmet.
No, the long helmet was the power walking. Remember, like
okay.
You had to keep one foot on the ground at all times, and he discovered that somebody was like hopping in the middle of the step.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, oh man, now I just need Hal coming down here with like the full body Speedo.
That show is such a class. That's why in the beginning of Breaking Bad, it was a little hard for me because I was like, that's Hal. Yeah. It was kind of acting like Hal a little bit. Like it took me a little bit to get out of the Hal and get into Walter White. And
the best parts of that show are Hal interacting with the kids.
Yes.
Like the conversation between kids and Hal is the best part of the show.
Yes. The show is it's awesome. But yeah, so the Kim Wexler thing to me was my biggest takeaway of like, whoa, she's like the brains behind all of this. She's running all of this. Like, and not in a way, not in like a way that's like, I think she just wants the best for him and wants him to get to where she thinks he can get. But it's weird. But I never saw her steering him towards this world. That's the thing to me is shocking.
I mean, for the longest time, she was like, I don't want to know.
And for me, I'm more curious of where her character ends up at the end of this over where his character ends up. What happens to Kim Wexler when it's all said and done?
Yeah, I mean,
to me, I'm fascinated by that now, which I wouldn't have said that going into the season.
Like, I don't think that she's dead in Breaking Bad. Because like I don't think he ever references dead wife. He just references his wife.
Right.
So, because I have certain people on social media be like, well, how do you think Kim ends? Do you think she dies? Do you think she just goes away? Like, I don't.
If you go back to the beginning, they're not together. Like when he's working at the Cinnabon, and he goes,
they're not together.
So something happens. But what? I mean, it'll be curious to find out what happens there. Gus is just such a fascinating character. Like everything he does,
needs his own show.
So intense.
He needs his own show.
He does, and I think if the wheels weren't turning on that before Saul, I think it is definitely now that's the last piece of the puzzle is the Gus spinoff.
And I feel duped, Marcus. He wears a clip-on.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I like Gus with designer ties, but then again, he's so good at playing the role of the Chicken Man. Like it's an acting job, right? He drives the station wagon Volvo. He's very, very like the house is fine because he has money because he owns.
He lives in a nice house. He doesn't live in an extravagant house,
right? Like, but the Volvo is a nice touch, and nothing about him is designer. The shirts aren't designer.
Ooh, they just replayed the Peyton injury.
Ugh. Shirts aren't designer. None of that stuff is stuff that but he's not trying to be too flashy.
My man drives a Volvo.
Yeah, he drives a station wagon Volvo. Like he's a utilitarian man.
And I love how they refer to him as the Chicken Man, like it's derogatory, and he's just like yes, I am the Chicken Man.
And the thing is too with him, like it's interesting because like I couldn't do that. Like if I had that much money, I'm gonna have to have a nicer car than that. Like I'm gonna have to have nicer clothes than that. But the restraint he shows is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like what is his that's why we need a Gus show, because I want to know what is his motivation for doing this stuff. Why is he doing this stuff? Where is the motivation coming from?
I mean, apparently, well, not apparently, because they reference it in the shows that he has extremely high level connections in Chile, where he's from.
Yeah.
So he's got to have some kind of political or familial or some kind of motivation. Like getting the money isn't just enough for him. Like having the money isn't enough.
Right.
He's got, what is the purpose behind acquiring this level of wealth?
Because it obviously is not the money. You can see it by his lifestyle. He doesn't care about the money. So why are you doing all of this? What is your reasoning? That's why we need a Gus show. We have to have a Gus show. It has to happen. Like I gotta know. Like we gotta get in there.
Can we just call it Gustavo? Like I just want it to be just called Gustavo.
Love it. Yeah, there you go. That's it. So this season has been insanely good.
Like every season just gets better.
I said to Amber, I'm like, I feel bad for you because Amber checked out after like season 2 or 3.
I was gonna say she's not up with it.
No, and I was like, I feel really bad. And I was like, I understand why you did what you did, but I feel bad for you now because you're missing out on.
For those that stuck through it, you were being rewarded.
That's exactly what I said to her. Like we were being rewarded for the attrition of those first couple seasons, and now it's all just coming together, and it's going to be a wild ride this next couple weeks. I'm excited to get in that, but yeah, it was another great episode.
Oh, it's great. I believe, what was this, episode 4? I think it was.
Yes.
So we got 3 more until the break. They're doing 7 a break and then 7 again, just like Ozark did. So we got 3 more. Friday. Will you be caught up by Friday?
Of Ozark?
Yes.
I'm going to try my best to. I mean, episode 1 was a wild ride. Going through that. I did not see Ruth at the end of the episode taking out Javi. I thought that was a nice swerve they pulled there to have her do that. Like my mouth literally dropped to the floor when I saw that scene, because like I thought for sure when he walked in she wasn't going to be there. So that was a nice twist to have her actually do it. I'm very curious to see where this goes now, because now it's like for me, like I know you're further ahead. I don't say anything, but I want to know.
I'm not done yet, but I am further ahead.
Who's the threat now? Like, who's the threat now for them? Because is it going to be Javi's mom? Is she going to step up and be a threat? By the way, love the fact they brought her back, Queen of the South. She scared the bejesus out of me on that show, so I'm excited to see her back. Her voice is so intimidating, but I'm glad to have her back.
Like those people that like say wild shit with like the calmest demeanor.
Yes, it is terrifying. So yeah, I'm curious to see who the threat is now. Obviously, where does Marty and Wendy go now on their journey with the foundation and everything like that? Where does Ruth go? There's a lot of interesting moving parts.
You need to temper expectations a little bit, because I forget which one it is. There is a episode in there in the beginning that feels not necessarily like a throwaway episode, but there is one episode that is not up to the snuff that the rest of them are. And after that episode, I was like, all right, I hope this was the dud of the season.
Okay.
So for as high as episode 1 got you, now don't get me wrong, 3, 4, like they're gonna keep getting better, but there is one in there where they have to do some storyline filling.
Yeah.
That you're like, all right, like this is kind of dragging out. Right.
So it'll be curious to Friday. Hopefully we'll talk about that. And we'll be recapping Sixers game 2. Hopefully looking forward to game 3.
Hopefully I'm coming in here playing the song on Friday.
Yes. But until next time, I'm Mark tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on social media.
Brad Emery Pod everywhere. BradEmeryShow.com for the merch. Check out our friends at Vans Jewelers. Go get some jewelers, get some good cleaning. York Road. All of that.
Yeah, man.
Until next time, you can be with us. You be against us, but never going to stop us. Late.